I welcome everyone this afternoon to our September 19th board meeting. Please join us in the pledge. Councilwoman Noack.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Here.
Councilman McCarthy?
Here.
Councilwoman Noack?
Here.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Here.
Councilman Lohman?
Yeah. Okay, we will begin this afternoon sitting as Board of Water Commissioners.
The minutes of September 3rd meeting, and there's two other resolutions, a part-time appointment of Maureen Hurley-Jung to the position of account clerk typist, and a transfer between budget accounts. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes. Reconvene as Town Board.
Thank you.
Okay, the first item is the supervisor appoints Richard Smith to the position of town historian.
Okay, before we carry on any further, I would like to both congratulate and thank our town historian Bradley Harris for all of the years of the fine duty that you have done as our town historian. There could not have been anybody better than you, Bradley. Our gratitude goes to you. You've done a wonderful job educating the youth of this town about the rich history that this town has. So our gratitude goes to you. Thank you very much. And we have a proclamation that you can put on your wall. With our deepest gratitude, I want to thank you very much. Thank you. I would also like to continue by announcing the town board's choice to carry on for Bradley, which I know there'll be big shoes to fill. However, I don't think we could have picked a better person that knows more about the history of Smithtown to carry on the rich tradition than Mayor Richard Smith, who was appointed today as our town historian. So Mayor Smith, thank you very much for picking up the mantle. I know you work closely with Bradley, and the town will be in good hands as far as its history goes. So thank you very much. Would you like to say a few words, or?
Thanks to you, Eddie, and the entire town board for being trust. You're absolutely right. Great shoes to follow. But I've worked closely with Brad over the decades, and it's been a great help to all of us. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you very much. Thank you for taking it. Okay, we will continue. Deputy Clerk.
Okay, under correspondence, the building department report for August, and a walk, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, 5K, on November 9th from 8:45 to 10:30 with a rain date of November 23rd. There's one advertisement for a public hearing. It's to authorize the town clerk to advertise for a public hearing to be held in Town Hall on Tuesday, November 5th at 2 p.m. to consider amending Chapter 322 of the Town Code entitled Zoning as it relates to planned residential development districts. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
On the consent agenda, there's the comptroller, number 1 to 5, and resolutions 1 and 2, plus the minutes of 9/3/24. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Authorize the town clerk to advertise for bid 2471, urban forestry management services. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Award the following bids and authorize the purchase of the associated goods and services. Bid 2460 for animal shelter supplies to Lawrence Laboratories. 59, screen sand for ice and snow control to B&B Maintenance Service and Wattrell Brothers. And 58 for tree services to Asphalt Tree Experts. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Award request for proposal 2456 for a pavement management solution to Pavement Management Group, and authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement on a form approved by the town attorney. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
The town board to approve the following: extension of bid 2370 for planting of street trees with Northport Tree Company. The town board to accept the letter from Edward R. Wareheim, Town Supervisor and Chief Financial Officer, regarding the Municipal Service Facility Financial Assurance and the report by FPM Group, and direct the town clerk to enter both documents into the official operating record of the Municipal Services Facility Phase 2 Cell 6 landfill. The emergency procurement for the repair of the Smithtown Boat Ramp, and to authorize the issuance of a purchase order to All Island Excavating in the amount of $42,800. The emergency procurement for the repair of the Town Hall elevator, and authorize the issuance of a purchase order to Noble Elevator in the amount of $115,795, and authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement on a form approved by the town attorney. Ratify the supervisor's signature on a stipulation of settlement in lieu of a Section 75 proceeding against employee 7715. Ratification of the supervisor's execution of an easement agreement with Suffolk County in connection with the intermunicipal agreement with Suffolk County for jumpstart funding in the amount of $900,000. Pursuant to the public hearing held for property located 883 Annandale Road in Comac, the town board hereby declares said site in violation of the town code, and authorizes the town to enter upon the property for the purpose of removing and/or remediating the violations. Adopt local law 1324, chapter 324, entitled Moratorium on Battery Energy Storage Systems. And the last is to authorize the highway superintendent to enter into an agreement with National Grid regarding the 2024 Comac Gas Replacement Project. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Authorize the supervisor to execute the following resolutions on a form approved by the town attorney. Authorize the proposal from FPM Group for professional services in connection with the preparation of the 2024 through 2026 Town of Smithtown Financial Assurance document, and authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement on a form approved by the town attorney. Add the amendment number 13 to the amended and restated solid waste disposal service agreement between the town of Huntington and Reworld Huntington. Agreement with Miller Place Fire District to utilize the Edward Mancuso Fire Training Center with the Smithtown for a one-year term. Agreement with Hayduck Engineering to provide professional engineering services for improvements of the Paul D. Given Park in Smithtown. An intermunicipal agreement with the Village of the Head of the Harbor regarding the town's construction of a temporary access road by the Town Highway Department. And a specialized service agreement with Movies in the Moonlight and the Recreation Department to retain moving screening services at Callahan's Beach. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
Approves settlement per the recommendation of the town attorney with Rosemary Correa for $375 and Bonita DeMario for $285.24. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes.
And personnel issues 1 to 12 as described on the agenda. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes. We have one read on resolution?
Yes. The ratification of the supervisor's execution of an agreement with the civil service employees regarding the step placement for the title of Assistant to the Town Tax Receiver. Councilman Lohman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Supervisor Wareheim.
Yes. That concludes resolutions. We will move to the public portion. Deputy Clerk, do we have speakers?
Yes, we do.
Okay, before we start, public participation is subject to the rules of decorum, which you have on your speaker cards for Town Code Section 76.7. Public portion is for town-related matters only. Any unsubstantiated, unverified, or material false information will be interrupted. The 3-minute rule will be strictly enforced. When you hear the tone, you have 1 minute to complete your statements. Please state your name and address to the board. Thank you.
John Durvan?
Good afternoon. My name is John Durbin. I live on Oakfield Road in St. James. I'm speaking today about the Bull Run Farm application. Leaving the future of the character of our community up to the courts is not a good idea. The town board has done the right thing in the past by not allowing an assisted living facility on Bull Run Farm. 2 weeks ago at the town board meeting, Superintendent Supervisor Werheim, I apologize, indicated that the special exception was denied. Was that in writing anywhere? Or are you referring to the April 20th, 2023 meeting?
You can continue, and then I'll respond when you're finished, sir.
Okay. No one could have known that instead of finding a better site, the developer would declare war on the town and the community by taking us to court. The town board must prevent the developer from commercializing the historic Mills Pond Road corridor. The town's comprehensive plan states that the assisted living facility should not be allowed in residential areas because of traffic and other impacts. This area of St. James is one of the worst possible locations for this facility, as it is in the midst of single-family homes only. The assisted living facility in this location will reduce the value of our homes and create a traffic nightmare, which is contrary to building zone ordinances. As noted a few seconds ago, an assisted living facility in a residential area could not meet the requirements for approval when the application was originally filed. We need to protect the integrity of the comprehensive plan and character of our community, and the community supports the town in making this happen. The east-southeast property line of Bull Run Farm crosses onto the cul-de-sac on the western end of Oakfield Road. This property line is only 75 feet from the indicated sewage treatment plant on the proposed facility. Why was the developer's plan not subjected to an environmental impact statement? Are there any indications, in addition, that the new owners would break through onto Oakfield Road? These are additional reasons to be concerned about the impact of this application on the community. The town board should be proactive and hold a public hearing to deny the application on the merits and not leave the matter up to the courts. The town board should continue to do the right thing. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you, sir. Just briefly, we cannot comment, because we are in litigation, we don't comment on ongoing litigation matters. So I will say what I said at the previous board meeting. I have all the faith in our town attorneys and our outside counsel that are handling the case. And at some point, our hopes are that we will have a conclusion that suits the residents and the town board. Thank you.
Jeffrey Schulman?
I'm Jeffrey Schulman, Sandy Hill Road, Comac, New York. Supervisor, Town Board. I was at the last board meeting, and there was a lot of questions that were being asked, and the supervisor took the time out to suspend his 3-minute time limit, and he answered a lot of questions, and I think a lot of people got an education. And it's not just the board that makes the decision, but there's other government agencies that are involved. And at the end of the meeting, a lot of people were speaking as they're walking out the door. They had no clue, and that there's other agencies really involved with the board's decisions and what they do. So I'd like to thank the town board. Have a good day, and thanks for reinstating a 3-minute limit.
Thank you very much, we appreciate that. And as I said at the meeting, hopefully I took the right action on behalf of myself and the board to at least enlighten the residents on the facts of this matter, because there was so much misinformation out there, that hopefully the residents absorbed it and understood it. And I will reiterate that myself and this board will never do anything in our power to harm or do anything detrimental to the residents that live in this community. But sometimes things are out of our hands, as you stated. There are other government entities, and applicants have every right to file. So hopefully we cleared up some, it would appear that we cleared up some of the misconceptions, because I see there's less people here today on that. Thank you.
Dan Dresch?
Good afternoon, Town Board. Dan Dresch, 19 Mill Creek Road, Stony Brook. Day 32, we're the 7 stranded families on Mill Creek Road within the incorporated village of Head of the Harbor. Before I continue, I must shout out Supervisor Werheim, Councilman Lohman, Superintendent Murphy. Nicole was there 4 weeks ago today, ready to jump in, help the village get moving. This is a public safety issue. Again, this is day 32. There is no vehicular access to those 7 families. As I speak right now, those 7 families are being served evacuation orders because the mayor has continued to let this drift aimlessly. 4 weeks ago today, you, the town of Smithtown, were prepared to jump in and make this happen. Instead, there have been aimless, not even negotiations, it's not a fair description of it, casual conversations with the mayor and the property owner. Instead of, as we recommended that day, he used his emergency declaration powers and immediately, for the protection of life and property, sign off an IMA to give you authorization to build that emergency access road for those 7 families. So, again, as of an hour ago, the mayor has signed off the IMA. I was pleasantly surprised to see that on the agenda today. That was just an absolute coincidence. What I'm prepared for right now is, are they going to check off all their boxes, feel pretty self-satisfied that they're finally done, and then flip it to you as a hot potato, and now you're under the gun? I don't know if you're under notification that this is maybe imminent. As of last night, the village trustees who were not involved in this, my understanding is they were very shocked to understand where they are in day 31 last night, and the move was to follow through on those emergency declaration powers. However, as of moments ago, our attorney, Brian Egan, who basically gave a roadmap Tuesday morning to the mayor and the village attorney on how to proceed, because he's done this before in the village of Masset Beach and the village of Southampton during Superstorm Sandy, how to do this immediately and catch up with the legalities afterwards. So I just want to inform you, because the level of communication coming from the village, that is not their wheelhouse.
Okay, thank you very much. I can tell you that after the meeting that we attended, where you were present, 4 days later, actually 3.5, we had markouts done. We were prepared to go in. Town of Smithtown is still prepared to go in immediately as soon as we get the word from the village and the village attorney. All of our requirements were satisfied. We're ready to go in as soon as we get the word from the village.
Yes, and I can attest, you have stepped up and lived up to everything you've said, all the commitments, and within that week, there was a utility mark out. Bob's guys were out there laying out. I've seen many of Bob's staff on site, so I appreciate that. It's just, like I said, we're waiting for what's going to be the next holdup, and I didn't want to all of a sudden that they're done, they're pretty happy, and they flip it to you, and now suddenly you're in the crosshairs and the clock is ticking, so.
Okay, we'll contact the village today. We'll have the attorneys contact them,
Thank
make
you very
sure
much.
everything's in place. And if it is, we'll get to work.
Thank you, Mr.
You're welcome.
Supervisor. Thank you.
Bianca Dresch?
Hi, thank you. I promise I'm not here to just reiterate exactly what he said, except for this part. Thank you so much, Smithtown. You guys were prepared and ready. You heard us, and you appreciated the urgency and action. But of course, we're not on a village, or we're within a village. So I am aware, I'm a highway engineer. I work for George Schwartle at the Huntington Highway Office. So I know you guys were in there with utility markouts. They're only good for 14 days. So I'm already, because I had to use a flashlight to get to my car this morning because it's a half-mile walk through the disaster area. So I just wanted to, I know Superintendent Murphy is ready to go. And if there is anything the residents can do, because that has been one thing where I've been the one who's called the mayor, the village attorney. I've been spurring all of the action, and I'm happy to do it. I will absolutely do it. So whatever I need, I've been the point of contact for the residents on Mill Creek, and we will continue to do so. So we just don't want anything that residents, anything needed from us as the residents. I don't want that to hold anything up. So we will take care of and jump on anything that you need. So I really appreciate your time and understanding the urgency of, we're not seeking, it's not a want, it's a need. So, and I know you all appreciate that, so thank you very much.
Thank you. And we understand that. The issue that we encountered were easement agreements that were the village's responsibility, and we've had no word. But Mr. Loman touches base with the chief of police and head of the harbor. So we keep privy to what's going on every single day, and again, as soon as we get the authorization from the village to go in, we will go in if we have to do markouts, because the day's expired, that'll be done immediately, and we will be right in there to go to work.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Stuart Schiller?
Stuart Schiller, 18 Stony Hill Path, Smithtown. I was here also at the last board meeting regarding a similar issue, drainage, although now I didn't realize what they were going through in Mill Pond, so I feel a little bad, but I've had a similar issue, except mine was been for 6 years. Drainage in the street, overflows onto my property, floods my property, fills my catch basins, and this last time destroyed my basement. It's the third time I got into the house, but the first time it actually did damage where I had to cut out all the sheetrock, it's all moldy, and I'm now stuck, because now I can't put it back, because this is gonna happen again and again and again. And unfortunately, unlike the other gentleman's experience, I contacted the town 3 days after the storm. They got back to me, said he'd be out in a few days. It's been a month, nobody's been out to me. 2 weeks ago, I was here, I left my name with somebody took my name and number about the grants, which there's been no information about, haven't heard from the town. Basically, we're completely abandoned. And again, it's not just me, I didn't mention this last time, but my neighbor was affected. The water filled up so much in my property, and now went to his property, and he moved in a week earlier. Brand new, that's what he experienced. Now, 2 houses are affected by the drainage issue. Also, the state grant application just opened up, so I'm able to apply for that, except I may not qualify. One of the reasons I may not qualify is you have to attest that you're gonna stay there 2 years. If you're telling me you're not gonna fix my problem, I can't stay there. I have 1/3 of my house I can't use. It's unsafe, it's unhealthy. I have a 2-year-old. It's just, something has to be done that, you know, I can't use my house the way I'm supposed to, so I can't even tell them I can stay here 2 years for a lot of reasons, but that's one major one. Also, I know I don't know if this qualifies to you as an emergency, but you approved emergency contracts today. I understand you have to have the elevator. I'm in the construction business. I've had these claims. I know what it takes. I know even the cost you have to pay to fix the equipment and everything. I've done this before. It's exactly the same thing for different reasons, but I know it's not easy. I know you have to do these emergency contracts. I don't know why mine is not an emergency also. Again, this is going on 6 years, and it's affecting health and safety. Sewer water is pouring onto my property. The side of my property has deer poop and other rabbits and dogs, and everything else comes into my property, and now it was in my basement. This is a constant issue, again, that I can't fix my basement until this is solved. I know you have a budget, also a dam project. Again, I know fishing is important, and I would like to see that dam rebuilt, but you know, there's other places to fish. I can't, my only place to live is this house, and this is all I have. So this has to be fixed. I don't know where the money's coming from, whether it's a FEMA project or you're gonna budget for it. I know your budget's coming out in a week or two, I believe, so I hope there's money in there for that. Or you transfer, I see, the transfers on the agenda that you do from time to time. But something, and again, there's a temporary fix that can be done to at least make me feel more confident that it won't happen again. And then there's obviously a bigger permanent solution that needs to be addressed from all the issues.
Okay,
Thank
sorry,
you.
your time is up. Do me a favor, we do understand, leave your address and contacts with Councilman Loman, he's the liaison to Highway. And we will have a conversation tomorrow with the Highway Superintendent, see if there's anything we can get in there. At least we're gonna go over and inspect it, come up with an answer, and to your point, we've applied for all of our FEMA reimbursements, that's all done. The state has the program open, so you have to fill that form out. I think it's on our website. If you need any help with that form filling out or anything like that, just call my office and my staff can walk you through that. But we'll get the highway over there. Just leave all your contacts with Mr. Long.
Yeah, Mr. Supervisor, for the record, I have spoken to Mr. Murphy, and he was having his engineers go back over there.
Okay.
Apparently, they said they've been there before, so I'll circle back with Mr. Murphy to see what the status is
Okay.
of that. But if you want to give me your information, I'll be sure to
Okay.
follow
I
up.
mean, just so you know, right now, for the last week or two, the two storm drains in front of the sump, completely clogged, completely, can't even see them. There's a paper bag stuffed in one, I mean, right now, if there was a rainstorm, it would just happen today. So, and I keep cleaning them, by the way. There's no one else to clean them, it's in front of your sump, so, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. That's it? Okay. Thank you, everyone, for attending. I move to close.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes?
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilwoman Anzarella?
Yes.
Councilman Bowman?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Be safe.